Alright, welcome back everyone to the channel. So if you've seen my review on Toy Freddy, you definitely know that he was my first figure in the line, and it took me a while to find the rest of the figures, but I definitely did find them. So, yeah, the gloves are back again. I'm thinking of removing the gloves, honestly, because they're just kind of a hassle, and they also make my arms look weird. But I got Mangle, so she's out of her box. But here is the Jazwares Mangle. I got Mangle and I got Toy Chica. I don't know why Mangle decided to fall. Okay, and I'm also using a new camera, so it's kind of like hard to getting used to. So just adjusting to that. So sorry about that. I did get Chica, and I was gonna do a review on Chica first, but her jump scare button is unfortunately broken. So I will have to go pick up another one later on today, and then after that I will do a review on Chica. But now we're going to focus on the Jazwares Five Nights at Freddy's action figure. This is part of the World of Figure series, not the Endo Wave. So let's go ahead and start with the box. The box says Five Nights at Freddy's. There is a Freddy render. You can see the FNAF 2 office in the background with like an LED light shining down on what was the figure in the box. Glowing eyes, jump scare action, Mangle, Five Nights at Freddy's, the power bar. On the back of the box, I got this. This is normally around $10, $9.99 at Target and Walmart and other stores, but at GameStop they were charging $11.99. So not too much of a price increase. But on the back of the box it says get them before they get you. Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, and Mangle. Jump scare action, Five Nights at Freddy's. The Freddy render again. There's the side of the cardboard, and Mangle, when I got her, she came disassembled in this tray, and she also has zip ties, so beware of that. And the box is the exact same as the Toy Freddy figure, so let's bring in Toy Freddy, just to kind of have as a little reference. Alright, get the camera angle a little better, that way you guys don't see my arms too much, because they are very, very distracting, at least to me anyways. But here we go. Here is the Mangle. Let's put her right. She's a little hard to stand because she is so big, but I'm going to compare her to, or put her next to the Toy Freddy. So if you get the Toy Freddy figure, or if you already have the Toy Freddy figure, this is how she will look next to the Toy Freddy Jazwares figure. I almost said Funko. She is a little bit bigger than him. She's around almost the same size as the Endo series, but she's definitely a little bigger than the Endo series. So that is that. Now let's move on to the jump scare gimmick on Mangle. So if you turn Mangle around to the back, she has a little button on the back of her head, which is protruding right here next to the little wire part, I guess, or little bar. If you push down on her head, or you hold her head, the jump scare button moves up and down. It's a little hard to do, so I just kind of just open her mouth like that and just do it like that. So her mouth opens all the way up, very, very wide. You could definitely stick some things in there if you wanted to. On the back of the Endo head, there is a little lever, but it's hard to reach due to the little bar kind of getting in the way, so you have to kind of turn it, and if you push down on it, it opens the Endo mouth. So let's go into the detail on this Mangle figure. So she's not really painted too well, or not, she doesn't have a lot of paint on her is what I'm trying to say. The only things that are painted are her two heads, her bow tie, her hands, her leg, or her foot, my bad, and that's pretty much it. So the wires on her are painted. They kind of look like ropes, or like ropes of candy, or Twizzlers. But there's Mangle. She has her tail. Her tail's also painted. I forgot to mention that. But weirdly, she's supposed to have a third leg, paws. She only has two though, or technically she has three apparently, because this is supposed to be like one of her legs, or it's supposed to give an illusion that it's like all three of her legs and she has all three of her legs, but it just ends up looking weird, and it honestly just doesn't look too well. So I do hope they kind of do that. But on my copy of Mangle, whenever I push down her head, it kind of like pops the head up. And when I first opened her, I was messing around with the jump scare gimmick, and her entire head just popped off through that little seam right there. Let's see if the camera will focus. Right there around that seam, the little head popped out, and the spring and the button popped out. So I don't know if my copy is like defected or broken, but that was something that happened. It does pop back in though. I've heard a lot of people have been missing this part right here, the little bow tie part. And if you're gonna get the Mangle figure, just make sure she has all her parts in the box, because she does come disassembled in the box, in the little tray she comes in. And a lot of people have said they've had problems with pieces not being there at all, or just pieces being broken. So definitely make sure your Mangle is fine if you are going to pick up the Mangle figure. But let's get into some more comparisons with Mangle, some other non-FNAF related figures, just to give you a good like size and scale on what she would be with other figures that aren't FNAF figures. So here she is next to the Studio Series 102 Optimus Prime, and here she is next to a blind bag figure. If you were going to, I don't know, have her next to a blind bag figure, that's pretty much how it would look. Alright, so now let's get into the painting and the sculpting. So the painting and the sculpting is really good on Mangle. You could see all the detail. Very, very good. There's no really bad paint issues that I see on my copy of the Mangle. The only bad paint error is on her snout, but it's very, very hard to see. It's right next to her nose. You can kind of see it, but you can't really see it too much. And her eye is a little wonky. But other than that, she is pretty good when it comes to paint. So let's go ahead and get into the articulation segment of Mangle. So if you come around, her hand goes back, goes to the front, it goes a little side to side, swivels, well not swivels, it's basically on a ball peg, so it does everything that like a figure with the ball peg would do. The arms move around. She is a little stiff, or my copy is. You can move her legs around, you could straighten them out, but they do kind of pop off a lot if you move them, and they are very, very hard to put back on, so just FYI with that. And this part also likes to come undone. I'm not sure if it's supposed to do that, but it just does. That's another part that comes disassembled, which is kind of annoying, so I don't recommend really playing with this figure too much, because it could have the Funko treatment, because it does have joints. So they could maybe get loose, but I don't know if Funko and Jazwares use the same joint setup, or not the same joint setup, the same plastic. They probably don't. I think Jazwares uses a little bit of a more higher quality plastic. But there's that. I wish she wasn't really on ball joints, but I mean, she's a $10 figure, and that is the only way she could have really got into one of the $10 boxes without being huge. So her head goes all the way around, just like that, even though it does pop off of this little peg a lot. And then now that it's off the peg, there is the jump scare button, and it works. Let's see if it works better. Yeah, it works decent. It's kind of hard to move even without the little thing in the way, because the little like port kind of blocks the button a little bit, so it's kind of hard to mess with, if that makes any sense. But she's overall pretty good. I would definitely say she's worth $10 if you could find her. She is pretty hard to find from most other people's experiences. But there is Mangle. Her eyes do glow, so I'm gonna put her next to the light and see if they glow better than Toy Freddy's, because Toy Freddy's eyes do not glow at all. If you watch my review on him, then you would know that the eyes suck on him. I'm not sure about Chica, but that will be the second review. So I'm gonna let this charge up for a little bit longer, and then I will take Mangle to a darker spot. Or maybe this could work. Let's see. Oh, that's nuts. Okay. Yeah, my copy, the joints are really, really hard to pop on. But they pop off pretty easily if you move them, which is kind of annoying. And that's a lot of people's problem with the Funko figures. But there is her eyes glowing. Only one of her main eyes glows, and her endo eye glows. And then there's that. So Mangle, she's a pretty good figure. I definitely recommend her. If you're gonna get any of these figures at all, I would say get Toy Freddy and get Mangle. These two are, from my experience with this toy line so far, these are the best in the wave. I haven't really had a chance to mess with Chica too much because I have to get another one. And Bonnie I do not have at the moment. So once I get those two, I'll be dropping reviews on them. Then I'll be dropping reviews on the Endo Series Freddy, and hopefully I'll get the rest of the Endo Series. Then if I do, I'll drop reviews on those. So if you guys like what you see, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out.